Hey, welcome back to the channel, Funky Friends. This is Amy, aka Funky Mama 0703. We've got a very serious item today that we're going to be discussing. Coffee talk. No, something very serious today that I want to bring up. I don't know how many of you people or how many of my viewers are um, content creators on YouTube, or how many of you guys just love watching YouTube. Things are going to drastically change for both of you guys um, on January 1st. January 1st starts the new wave of YouTube's censorship. I guess I don't know whether it's considered censorship or just they're pushing, controlling. Um, COPPA, which is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, an item that's been on, we've had for years. It's been, I think, 97 was when they initially started it, because it became such an issue with online stuff with kids, and um, collecting data is basically all that COPPA is really concerned about. Um, it's kind of actually funny if you look at the history of it all. Um, but COPPA is, or YouTube is pushing a COPPA-like agenda that will start on January 1st. What it's going to do is creators now, when you put up videos, are forced to claim whether it's going to be whether it was made for kids or not made for kids. To me, that's an issue simply because I don't make my videos for kids. My videos are made for adults. I'm just a harmless fuzzball. I don't like swearing, so I won't swear in my videos, but I do think there's a certain point where um, we should be able to have content for ourselves and not have to worry about kids wandering through. And, you know, whether a kid watches my videos or not, I don't care. I can't even see myself as something kids are going to want to watch. Fine. I don't worry about that. But what bothers me is, okay, if you list your channel as for kids, which is one of the things that they're trying to get into, and the biggest thing that the FTC is worried about is collecting data from children. So if you list your video for kids, which mine isn't, but I'll explain it later. If you list it for kids, then you lose monetization up to, I heard anywhere from 70 to 90% of your monetization can be lost. Not a problem for me since I'm not monetized. Um, but you also lose notifications, so you aren't notified when you get new people joining up. You also don't get notified when the video goes up, and the viewers don't get notification of when that video goes up. So you just have to assume, the whole little bell at the end doesn't matter when you punch that thing there. You also are losing the ability to do or to show up in any search bars. You're not a recommended video. That end screen that I've been doing where I have the two videos, that doesn't matter. It doesn't show up. The end screen still does, but not the suggested videos, because that's all collecting data. And if you're doing a video for kids, that information is not saved. It's not allowed to be put up. You lose a number of things. The biggest thing is you're not searchable, or you don't get notifications. For me, it is, at least, because I don't get money from this. I'm doing this because I love being able to put myself out there. And that's the whole thing, is this was stepping outside my box, stepping outside of things that I feel comfortable about. Now, it hits you. So, as a adult, and with mine, when I first heard about this and my son brought it up, and I'm like, no problem. I'll just list myself as for adults, because I don't make my videos for my kids or for kids. It's the way YouTube has it when you're putting up loading up a video, uploading a video. It asks, is it made for kids or not made for kids? And I would say not made for kids, because I don't make it for kids. That's not my intent. If a child finds one of my Project Corner videos interesting, okay, but it's not made for kids. So that's where I get in the conundrum. And so I would, of course, I've listed all my videos as made for adults, because I don't make them for kids. their intent is to be made for adults. Well, then my son informed me, and having watched a number of other videos on this, YouTube has a very, well, YouTube, FTC, whatever it is, has a very fine, it's badly worded, is what I'm saying. It's very, it flows. It just, you don't really know what to say. Anything that a kid might find interesting, anything that includes like cartoon characters or along that lines, games that kids like, can be considered kid content, and your video then is now kids. You've mislabeled it, and if you get caught, you can get a 42,000 some odd change, $42,000 fine for mislabeling your video. The problem is, I'm not mislabeling my video because my videos are not made for kids. I don't mind if kids watch them. If they do, kids shouldn't be watching it anyways. Kids shouldn't be on this forum, actually. This forum is for 13 and above, which my channel is PG-13. Just because I don't swear doesn't mean it's not for kids, or it's not for, it's doesn't mean it is for kids. I don't believe in swearing. That's just a personal preference, and I try to avoid anything that has any cuss words or swear words in it. You'll notice that in the links below, because I will put up a list of places for you to check out this whole FTC, YouTube, COPPA crappa. Check it out, see what you can find out. Follow some of the stories. What was funny, I read that this morning, which is Monday, I can't even think of the date. Oh, it's right down there. November 25th. One of the guys who is a regular YouTuber, he does game theories. He's the game theorist, Matt Pat, one of the YouTubers that my son and I watch. My son watches, and I'm forced to watch. But he put up a video last week about this whole thing as well. I was very enraged because I didn't think that the bigger YouTubers, the ones who, they'll be affected by it, but they'll have a little more leeway, a little more of a cushion. They aren't speaking about it, really, which kind of ticks me off, because it's like, we've backed you guys up. We've been there for you guys. Now you need to be there for us little people. But Matt Pat, who is, I think, one of the highest, well, PewDiePie did say something about it, but he never, I mean, he wasn't, we don't consider that a video going against this whole thing. But Matt Pat did put up a good video where he informed very concisely, which will be in the video, or in the link below. But he put out a tweet this morning, this morning or last night, sometime, I think it was last night, claiming that through his video and through the awareness that we're getting out there about this COPPA, he's now, or we actually crashed the FTC's communications line over the weekend. So, temporarily, but at least people are getting out there and people are talking. We need to do this. It's a grassroots effort here. We need to fight this because it's taken away our freedom of speech, really. This option here, I should be able to say whatever I want to say, whenever I want to say it, and I should be able to dictate where I believe it's going. Whether other people are watching it, whether children are watching it, that's on the parents and on the children, not on me. Not on YouTube, although YouTube has a way of taking care of this themselves as well. The idea was, history a little bit, earlier this year, probably, well, actually in September, YouTube got smacked with a fine of $170 million because they were selling kids' information, things that they collected through YouTube itself, where they were collecting information from kids about what they like to watch, just whatever the cookies they could catch when kids are posting comments, doing whatever on these videos. Videos across the YouTube, not just kids videos, but all videos. They're listing that YouTube collected those and, did like targeted ads and that type of stuff. So somebody else in a later video that I have linked here is going to do a better job of explaining all this. But this is where it hit me, and this is what kind of drew my attention to it, was, well, my son was extremely worried. He's actually privating all his videos, and by January 1st, all his videos are going to be privated. I don't know if I'm going to take that route or if I'm going to give it a try and see. But what gets me is YouTube got that smack, and they, instead of taking it on themselves and saying, okay, we will better this situation by finding out a way of we can weed out these 13-year-olds. Keep in mind, YouTube is not 13-year-olds, under 13-year-olds. YouTube is a 13 plus program. We are set up, our platform. It is set up for anyone above 13 or better. When you set up your account, you are forced to say whether you're older than 13 and put in some information. Although it's not a lot of information, you click a box and it's supposed to weed out. And for the longest time, probably the last 15 years, YouTube has been able to kind of pull that off and say, well, no, we've got these boxes. That's how we're protecting ourselves. The problem was when the FTC looked into the system again a little deeper, they actually noticed videos that were kids-based videos that were, Baby Shark and, all these things that are linked or that are just based on children. And they were on the main YouTube channel, not YouTube Kids, which is, by the way, their forum. Go over there. Sorry. So the kids there under 12 years old, well, 12 and under, they're here and they're not supposed to be. They shouldn't be. Parents should be watching their children and making sure that their kids aren't on here. Now, I keep in mind, I do believe that my son was on here at probably about 10, 11 years old on YouTube. I supervised the videos he watched, so I know what he was watching, and I know none of them were risky. None of them were dangerous. None of them were horrible. He was a pretty good video watcher, and then of course he made his own videos at that age too, so oopsie. But my view is these videos that were geared towards kids were on here, and that's where the FTC said, wait a minute, you guys do have a forum for kids, because there they are, and you're collecting information because it's in this group. In YouTube Kids, they have all that turned off. You can't comment, you can't get any information from the kids' accounts, that type of thing. So it's basically, they don't have the options that we have. For custom or for content creators, there is no money really in kids channels, which is part of the reason why people don't want to list their videos for kids, because you have no payments. Your content costs go down. You're not going to get the money from it. And I'm not making much sense. Please understand, this is an emotional issue for me, because I'm doing this because the videos, because I like to be able to put myself out there. I'm learning to be proud of who I am and proud of what I've become in the last few years of my life. And I've made so many changes in myself that I want to put myself out there, and I want to offer the help that I've been giving people and actually do it on a bigger band. Unfortunately, YouTube's plan is not to let us do that as readily as we have in the past. I'm not blaming it all on YouTube, but I know if YouTube had taken the bullet themselves, they wouldn't have passed it on to us. And that is the biggest issue I have with YouTube, which, I know, shocking. YouTube messes you up again. We, as content creators, have to watch out for so many things. And this is another thing where we have to worry about. Now, I can't afford a $42,000 fee for having listed something as not made for kids, which it wasn't made for kids, keep in mind. It was made for the general audience. It's basically, I'm a harmless fuzzball. It's the way I've said it before, and it's what I believe. I'm a harmless fuzzball. Nothing I say should offend, and if it does, I'm very sorry. And if you catch me in something, I want you to call me out on it. But my videos are not made for children. And I mean, I realize I have a few videos that are game related, Sims, which is not a kid's game, CTR is probably the closest. Crash Team Racing probably is definitely a kid's game. Uno, the things that my son and I play for our replays. Maybe we need to stop doing that. I don't know. But my biggest issue is that I feel like they're ripping away something that I have become used to doing. If you've been paying attention to my channel, the only things I've really been putting up is my days of thankfulness. The last week, I think this whole thing has hit me kind of hard, where I haven't even put up videos for the last week. It has hit, and it's crazy, and I really don't appreciate the thoughts that I'm doing something wrong or I'm not doing something the right way. The FTC, this is what gets me, and YouTube did not offer this. The FTC actually has 3 grades that your videos can be at: for kids, not for kids, and general audience. Not for kids would be the cussing and swearing, the frontal nudity, whatever YouTube wouldn't allow that anyways, but it's more of the adult, mature audience type videos. The games where you're shooting and hacking people up, that type thing. General audience would be something that's a little kid friendly. It's kid friendly, but it's more family friendly, I guess. It's not something that's be offensive, something that would give kids a bad rap, but it'll also keep it pretty clean for kids, but entertain the adults. And I consider that's where my videos fall, is in a general public type thing, general audience. What ticks me off is that is not one of the options YouTube gave us. The FTC gave us the 3 options. YouTube gave us 2. And it's either, and the wording of it is very freaky too, because it's made for kids, or not made for kids. And, looking at it that way, in essence, by definition, mine are not made for kids. They're general public. They're very safe, but they're not made for kids. And if I have to start every video doing a stream of cussing and swearing, I will make a nice little thing where I just kind of throw it in there and be done with it for the first 2 minutes or so of it, just a string of cussing and swearing and whatever. So that whoever views my videos in the future will know, oh, that is not for kids. The terrible thing is that's not me. I'm not a person who can swear readily. When I'm ticked off, I can, and this would probably tick me off, but it's not who I am. So to have to start every video like that is totally against what I believe. And so I don't want to become something that I'm not. I have to make a determination closer to the first of the year. I will decide what I want to do, if I'm going to continue on with this, because I do love the creativity that this brings me. I do love the feels that I can get out on it, and I appreciate being able to do stuff like this. So it bothers me that there's a board out there, and that's the thing that gets me, is there's a board out there who goes through, and this is with the FTC, and that's where my issue is. These are older people, like my mom's age, a little younger than that. I'm 50, so I guess it would be my age group too, but they're the ones that are going to be making the determination whether my video is for kids or not. And these are people who have very little knowledge in computers, very little knowledge in the forum, very little knowledge on what content really is. So they're going to be judging whether my videos are for kids or for adults. And they're going to be looking at the thumbnail and maybe some of the video itself. That's why I said the first couple minutes have it just cussing and swearing. Then they'll know for sure. But they're making the determination, and it's so arbitrary, their decisions. YouTube isn't going to be making the decision, I don't believe. But it is, right now they're kind of throwing it in. They have a bot that does it. That looks through and says, oh, this is for kids, this is for adults. I have yet to be labeled for kids, but who knows? And it, this arbitrary board is going to be making a decision of whether my videos are for kids or adults, and that's not my decision, which bothers me, because these are my videos. They may not be the greatest content out there, but they're my videos. I do believe I'm going to get in some trouble with my, with the Project Corner, which I'm thinking of renaming, actually. I'm going to get in trouble with that because it is crafting, and they say anything educational could be declared a what is it for kids? Um, Anything you learn from. And it's like, okay, so we adults don't learn things. It's this arbitrary, who makes the decision, and is there any way we can fight it? There is. I will put in a link in petition that has been signed by many. It basically tells the FTC to please review their terms on this, try to make it a little more better defined so that it's maybe not quite as strict as it is. My thing is, you use colorful pictures or colorful items like this behind me, I could be deemed as a kid's video. And it's like this, it's crazy. If your thumbnail is colorful, if you got animation or cartoon characters, yeah, let's put some Rick and Morty in there and watch kids watching that. Yay, great parenting right there. I don't know. To me, this is just an arbitrary sweep across. And I've heard from some that say that us little YouTubers really aren't going to get in too much trouble because it's they're going to be going after the big offenders because they only have limited amount of time or limited amount of people to run through these. So they're going to go through the group that is most offensive. Unfortunately, I don't want to take that risk because it's $42,000 per video. So if I have, right now I'm at like 30, oh gosh, oh no, 30, if I just take the November videos, yeah, that's a lot. If I take the days of November or the days of thankfulness, there are 30 there, and then there are from the very beginning for months. Yeah, there's going to be a lot I'm going to owe, and I don't have the money for that. I can't even imagine pulling out $42,000 out of some orifice of my body in order to be able to pay this off. It's crazy. It's ludicrous. And I'm not making money on YouTube. I don't plan on it. I don't mind doing this because I'm doing it for myself and maybe helping other people out. And that's what I'm looking for, is hopefully helping other people, not hurting, hopefully helping other people out. And through my struggles or through my trials and successes, I'd like to be able to offer people a little better suggestions or direction, strength. But I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that because I think this is going to be a danger for me. I don't know. Like I said, January 1st, I'll make the determination. I will post a little more on it as we get closer to that deadline and see where I'm feeling, what I'm doing. Like I said, my son is privating all his videos, and we're talking over 1,000, and he is scared to death because he's got channels that he can't even get to because the emails have been closed down, or he can't remember what emails he used. He doesn't remember how to get into them. He doesn't even remember the names of them. So these are older channels that he had when he was 10 years old, and he can't get into those things, and he's worried that his videos are going to be, because he can't label them for kids, not for kids, that he'll get in trouble for that, and I can't afford to pay his bill. I don't know. See, he's scared to death and I'm scared to death, and it all depends on who you listen to, because I've got one person I read or listened to this morning who's like, oh yeah, you little people don't have anything to worry about, and it's like, but it's random. Okay, what if I happen to be one of the randoms? That's $42,000. I can't afford that. And this is a hobby. This is not my lifestyle. I can't see making money on this. I am a little YouTuber trying to just get my word out. But I call out. Now, PewDiePie did a news report, which wasn't really, or his one, Pewdie News, did something about it, not to the extent that it needs to. We need to call him out. Markiplier has done nothing yet of it. He's been more whining. Well, he was griping about how YouTube had blocked a number of his people, but they were in a live stream. But that was the last he complained about YouTube. And I think he needs to start. He's got somebody that he knows in YouTube who has told him, If you ever have any problems, let me know. He needs to get on her and tell her what's going on and what YouTube needs to do. Jacksepticeye, I mean, these are the people I watch that I can say clearly, if they don't speak out about this, if they don't help us out, because us little YouTubers are the ones that are going to get hurt. They've got millions of dollars. He's got so many different ventures out there. Markiplier does, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie. They've got so many different avenues, venues that they make money on. I don't. I don't make money here either. I call you guys out. I say you are the ones that need to step up. You are the ones that need to start talking. Viewers, if you get a chance, Twitter these guys, Facebook these guys, whatever you've got, say something. Go, tell anybody that you know that is a YouTuber, especially larger YouTubers, fight this for the little guy. If anybody, we're the ones that are back. I mean, you guys started here. Help us. Help us beat this. Help us survive, because I'm not going to survive if that's the case. I don't know what I'm going to do in January. Help us. Like I was saying, if they don't step in and don't start fighting this, I mean, I'm so glad that MatPat, who is one of the higher, I mean, he is one of the higher people out there that I've seen, who has the views and has the subscribers, who has put out. And thank you, MatPat. This is amazing that you stepped up and you helped us. You other big YouTubers, you started where we are. Help us. It's going to kill us. And the content on YouTube is going to drop, because you don't have the wide, you don't have the little people who you maybe like to watch. There's no need for us to be here if we're going to be having to pay big fines if we list our videos wrong. Help us. Big people, help us. That's what you're here for. That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other. And I can't continue if I don't get the help I need. And I'm not expecting people to throw cash at me, although I'd love that. I'm not expecting that. I'm just expecting somebody to step out and help. We've got a petition they want us to sign. I don't know if that's ever going to really see the light of day, but maybe it helps the FTC to see that it needs to be reworded, because it's very, very vaguely worded. A couple of the videos I have linked below will take you through it, so please watch them. Learn from them, because it's they're amazing. Especially, we have a lawyer, Ian, I can't remember what his last name is, but he is a YouTube lawyer, and he will walk through what it really means. We have to do something. We really do. To protect the little ones, to protect the big ones, because they're going to lose their money too. They're going to lose monetization on a lot of their videos. Also, there is and I'm hopefully going to put it down below, a link to the FTC communication board. You can put in very respectfully worded. I don't want a lot of cussing and swearing. I mean, that's not us, and we need to be able to show that we are adults in our desires here. Go on to the FTC communications board. Let them know that you want them to review this, review the video, or review the video constraints, because they are too vaguely worded, too easily misconstrued. The idea that if I say the word awesome, it's a kid's video. If I say cool, it's a kid's video. If I say radical, if I say, anything any verbiage that is pop culture, any visions that are pop culture, you show, I'm trying to think of something, well, Crash Bandicoot. That's going to be something that will be construed as a kid's video. We got to stop this, guys. We got to work together as a team. We got to beat this. If you are a content creator, do something. If you are a viewer, do something. This is going to change YouTube in the span of time. In just a matter of months, YouTube will change completely. And the viewer videos that you want to put out, the videos that you like to watch, are going to be gone off YouTube completely. Let's try to fix this. This is grassroots, dudes. Let's fight this. Let's do what we can to beat this, because YouTube and the FTC have to learn that this is not right. This isn't fair, because that's all we're asking for is what's fair. I'm not hurting anybody. I am a harmless little fuzzball, but because I do videos that are gaming with my son, I lose, I'm not going to say finances, because that's not, well, lose finances. It's $4,200. I'm not going to list that, or 42,000. I'm sorry. I underestimated it. I'm really not sure how this is going to work out, guys. And I love being here for you. I love being able to post videos and hopefully offer advice or direction, or just be here to listen, or just give you something. And I don't know how long I can continue. Help us beat this. That's what we're here for, is to help each other. And I need your help, guys. My son needs your help. Chaos needs it. All the tubers, all the little YouTubers need your help. We're not going to be able to make it otherwise. I mean, I do not have the fundage to be able to throw cash at the government every time they decide one of my videos was mismarked. And I'm not going to mark my videos for kids, because they're not. In the term of what I see YouTube asking me, they were not made for kids. I don't know. All right, guys, thanks for listening. I'm going to step off the soapbox right now, and hope that we as a community can beat this. And I will keep you informed of what I have planned for my future here on YouTube. What's going to happen to Funky Mom. I'd hate to think that I only got 6 months out of this thing, you know. Although I do feel stronger, and I do feel more content with who I am. And I want to thank all my viewers for helping me get to this point. I hope we can get further. Bye, guys.
I want the best.